Yo guys, I'm HP, this is Dr. Pink, and today we're going to talk about basic rock guitar training and power chord techniques in specific, and we're going to make combinations of the really basic power chord techniques, putting together to something quite cool, something like this. So we're going to make the combinations out of the very, very basic techniques, put things together, merge it to something really cool, and then you will see it's not so hard if you can do the really basic modules which are necessary to fulfill the power chord techniques when it comes to basic rock guitar training. So let's get started. I created this really cool backing track for you guys. It's professionally produced, which is exactly the right tool to practice all this stuff. So how would you do that? We have 2 bars of E, and we're using the E5 power chord. So it's open E string. Here we with the index finger make a barre over the A and the D string. 3 strings to attack. And there's one trick. It's hard to always hit the right strings, and you have a little bit of a, let's say, tolerance in attacking the strings when you put a finger in a way that the G string is damped. And that's what I really recommend to do, because we want to learn the technique how to make this chord sound the way it should, and it only sounds the way it should when you attack it really dynamic. Like this, you just really go through the strings, and it's hard to stop at the exact right spot. So when the damping technique, this one string is damped, and then you can really go through the whole thing, and then it sounds the way it should. So this is not the first part of these power chord techniques. Learn the proper power chords. These are really the basic power chords now. Make the damping properly, and the D, then we have two bars of A, F, E, then comes 1 bar of D, which is like this, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, and now we are taking the middle 4 strings. Now same again, we have to do a proper damping technique with the thumb here. Oopsie. We damp the low E string, and with the middle finger we damp the high E string, and then we attack the middle 4 strings. So you also go really hard through. And then this chord really starts to bite. Okay. Then we have 1 bar of A. Same thing again as the E before. Place your finger in a way that now the B string is damped, and the high E string as well. And if you want, but you can also damp the low E string with the thumb, and the same thing again, now you attack 3 strings. So, the first power chord technique is just go through these 3 chords with the dynamic attacking. So place your fingers in the right way, the right damping technique, and then it should sound as tight as it sounded now at the end of the day. But of course it takes some practice till your finger knows exactly how to be placed, and your picking hand knows exactly how to attack the strings. If you attack the strings too hard, then the strings get detuned. See, now I did it on purpose too hard. Now you heard it slightly detuned, so you just attack dynamically but not too hard. Okay? And then once you have this together, now suddenly the magic happens. It looks like you're doing nothing here, But in fact, you really need to train this to place your finger exactly the way that the damping is proper, and the whole movement and your whole system is doing the right things at the right spot, and that the chord appears exactly on 1, 2, on 1, 2, 1. It comes exactly on the 1. So this is quite a task. It looks like nothing, but it is quite something. So that's why we're doing this training here, that you learn this. Once you fulfill this task, we can, you already learned in the prior tutorial here on the basic rock guitar training, the damping technique. Now we're doing damping. You can mix this up with damping. So we damp the low E string, the low D string, and the low A string. So, but we keep, we still do the chords, but we just make the damping. That's really required, that everything goes smoothly and properly, and that the damping happens really cool. Let's try this. Works pretty cool. And if you have forgot how the damping technique goes, you put your picking hand down here on the bridge, that on the right spot, not too far here, because there's no tone, not too far behind. There is no damping at the exact spot. And this position has to stay. It's really important. You have this position of the damping, because now we're going to the next step. Now we switch between the damping and the chords. So we play, then you go back in the exact position. So chords 1, 2, 3, 4. First we just go into the damping position, but just damp the whole chord. So we make one bar the chord, and we damp for one bar, and then I'll show you. Looks easy, but there's also a few things to consider. You damp exactly on count 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Exactly on the 1, not a little bit before, not a little bit too late. Exact on the 1. That's really important, okay? Good. Once you fulfill this task, we do the next one. Now, instead of damping and holding it, we switch immediately to the damping. Then we switch between power chords and damping, okay? So the task now is really, as already said, that your hand goes directly to the proper position, even if you're just damping, but then you can mix automatically between no playing or damping. So you have the two techniques which are now in combinations. Good. Now let's do the last task. That's probably the hardest one. Now we make damping, but we switch in between to the power chord. So on the grabbing end, most of you guys the left hand, nothing changes, but here in the right hand you make, I'll show you. So the damping happens on the low E string, and then when you play the chord in count 1 and on count 2, you just make a rotation and you relieve the damping. So just make a rotation, go back. So you make 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So on count 2, you make the slide rotation, then go back to the position. Let's do this here. And now we're soon there where it starts to sound really cool. But I must say this technique here is probably going to be the biggest challenge for you guys. But we started easy, okay? Let's do it. Okay, so you make the combination out of course you can do the damping technique, everything is properly, then this is the additional feature. It looks like just a little movement, but it tells you have to practice this, that you stay in position. This is really important here. As you already noticed here on the left hand, or for most of you guys, nothing changes, but it's only happening here with your attacking hand. And once you have this stuff together, then you can mix the techniques, and then you already start to sound quite solid and cool. You know, you play chords and damping with chords, and I show you put the whole thing together. Yo guys, that was a basic rock guitar training with the power chord techniques. It's quite a challenge probably, but we're just moving one step by each other, and as you noticed, here is not much which happens, all happens here. That's what I always say to students. A lot of guitar students think guitar playing is hard for the grabbing hand, but in fact the picking hand is the one which is the main challenge. Yo, and this tutorial brought up by special request with one of my members in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy. So if you have any requests, please become a member and tell me what you really want to know, and stuff like that is also pretty interactive there. There you can also download this backing track which I produced for you guys professionally, plus the tabs of the stuff I just showed, so you can always double check if you're doing everything right. Yo, it's available for in the HPCrazy Guitar Academy for premium members. Please join there, please become a premium member, or just subscribe to my channel, share to the world that me and Dr. Pink are existing, and please let me know if you have any kind of requests. Feel free, I ask to any request in the academy, so there's a place to go and be cool and see you guys. You have something to say, Dr. Pink? We're going for a pizza.